Hi everyone. It's been a while since I filmed a video, and because we're in Leo season, I was thinking that perhaps we can talk about the Leo star sign, and we might look into some examples. So I think during Leo season, now is a great time to tap into what is creative, fun, and childlike for you. Creativity can be painting, can be writing, or it can come in other forms. Like maybe you're good at solving puzzles, and that is your form of creativity. Leo being the fifth sign of the zodiac, forgive me, it's been a while since I filmed a video. It can also represent siblings, although third house more so represents siblings. But the fifth house does show a bit of that. So if you're looking into how your relationship with your siblings work, then you might want to look at your third and fifth house. Now, Leos are also treading a fine line between confidence and humility, right? Leos, not all Leos are outwardly egoistical or confident. I mean, not all Leos are egoistical, but the reason being is because when their ego is hurt or when they feel insecure, they hide in their shell. So if you see the lion in Wizard of Oz, he's a very shy lion, And it's no wonder that Cancer is on Leo's 12th house, because that means subconsciously they always want to go back into that shell, like I just mentioned, that they just need that sense of security. Leo season is also good for inner child healing. I've got my notes there. Inner child healing, it could be going to therapy to talk about the past, and the past can be scary. And Leos don't really like the negative stuff. We Leos, I have a Leo moon. We kind of like the positive more so than the negative. It does represent romance at like the early stages of romance, diving into things head first. So you might find yourself in a new relationship, or maybe your existing relationship has been renewed. So yeah, I was thinking of looking at some Leo celebrities. One that came to mind is Meghan Markle. I think she's a very interesting and for me controversial character, because she did say she didn't want to live in the public eye, and yet she still was, inviting the press to take photos of her family. So that was very contradictory. Looking at her chart, she has I think a stellium in Libra with Pluto and Jupiter, Saturn and Moon there. So Pluto makes things very intense and very difficult. Saturn makes things restricted. So being in the moon, she must have experienced that in her earlier years. I'm going off on a tangent here, but that's usually the way I do my videos. So she probably experienced relationship hardships in her earlier years, be it romantic or one-on-one relationships. And perhaps the strong need to keep things harmonious, and yet self-sabotaging herself, does occur. And with her Venus in Virgo, she's quite critical of things. Things have to be perfect according to what she sees as perfect. And I'm not surprised her ascendant is in Cancer. She's very protective over her family. Leos can be protective as well. Yeah, but that Sun in Leo does give us an inkling that she does like the attention, Although the Libra side of her will always want things to be fair, the Leo side of her will want to stand out. So I believe in her relationship with, is it Harry? I believe she's the dominant one, because I believe Harry's a Cancer. Okay, let's go to the next Leo. Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is a strong character because she has a moon in Scorpio with the Leo sun. So that makes her doubly fixed, two fixed signs in her big three. And with her ascendant in Capricorn, she's very driven. She knows exactly what she wants and how to achieve it, including with her Venus in Virgo. Her ascendant is on Neptune in Capricorn, so people might misunderstand her a lot or idolize her. A lot of actresses and celebrities may have this ascendant on the Neptune, which I believe Anne Hathaway has that. She's not a Leo, but I believe she has Neptune in the first house. And then let me look at Jennifer Lawrence. Her Leo energy is very prominent along with her moon in Gemini. She's very talkative. She's known to pick up other people's mannerisms and perform it, right? She is very witty, and she has, I guess her ascendant in Sagittarius helps her to be funny and likable in that way. She has Venus in Leo as well, so I guess when it comes to her relationships, she really wants to feel like a queen. But I think with Leo, with fixed sign energy and Virgo energy, it could go one way where the Leo becomes very fixed in their ways. I said this word a lot, but yes. They become very fixed in their ways to the point where flexibility is not an option, and it becomes a little hard for people around them to live with them. On the flip side, Leos, which are very insecure, which is a sad thing to see, may be more flexible because they are afraid to say what they truly want. Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter, is a Leo with a moon in Aries. Venus, Mercury, Mars, Leo. Wow, he's a Leo stallion. I would not have guessed that because he seems like quite not nerdy, but like intellectual and low-key kind of person. So that's very interesting, especially with the moon in Aries. That would make him want to be the number one in things. So it doesn't show his ascendant on this website called Astro Charts. It doesn't show his ascendant, so I would not know what's playing into that. I see Anna Kendrick on this. Yes, I believe she's a Scorpio. Oh no, she's a Taurus moon, sorry. Leos like to perform, right? So Anna Kendrick likes to sing, and Taurus rules the throat. So it's no wonder she's a good singer. Venus in Cancer. Mars in Leo. Saturn opposing the moon. So that's an interesting one because Saturn is restriction, but in oppositions, we often have similarities and differences. So I believe she did feel a bit of restriction, but Moon in Taurus is a very comfortable placement by itself. It's where the moon wants to be apart from Cancer. So I believe that maybe when she grew up, it was very extreme. Like it went from Taurus to Scorpio energy. Especially Pluto and Scorpio as well. Leo season. I guess I could go through like what Leo season means for each rising sign. I'm gonna have some notes, but I will share some stuff that I know. So if this would load. If you are in Aries, Leo will be in your 5th house. So You might be pursuing your passions. You might find that you have more time to tap into your inner child and play. And Aries is like a bit like Leo in a sense that it's represented by the birth of a child. So if you're an Aries, I would say this is like a very comfortable time for you to do the things you love. Unless there are other aspects like Saturn, Saturn, Aries. Taurus. So Leo will be in your Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, 4th house. So you might want to redecorate your home, or 4th house is also motherly energy, right? Think about how you mother yourself, how you mother others emotionally. But with Taurus, you might think about it physically. So how do you, feed yourself that comfort? And with Leos, that involves a lot of validation, I feel. With Gemini, Leo is in your 3rd house of communication and immediate communities and friends. So you might be exploring that, and that's a very Gemini thing. You might want to write an article and publish it. That would be a good time to do it. You might want to go partying with your friends. So yeah. And your communication will improve with Leo giving you confidence in the house of communication. With Cancer, Leo will be in your 2nd house. So that means as a Cancer, you shine when you have security. And so 2nd house is about also like your own financial income. So that it might be a positive time for you in terms of that right now. Or it might be a good time to check like what's your financial situation like and what can you do about it, Yeah. So if you're looking for a job, Cancer risings, then now is a good time to look for a job. Leo being your 1st house, so you would be very in learning about yourself, being more like yourself, especially if you go for therapy. Like therapy can be for any time and anybody, so now is a good time to reevaluate, I would feel, but also like go back to your roots of who you were as a child. And on a more material level, you could be thinking about like your appearance, your aesthetics, but I usually relate aesthetics more to Libra. If you're Virgo, Leo will be in 12th house. So that confidence is a bit hidden, but it's there. Virgo, you'll be looking at how to set boundaries because 12th house is ruled by Pisces. But you have to learn how to do it in a balanced way, because if you do it in a Leo way, it's gonna be very direct. So that's what I see for Virgo risings. For Libra, Leo will be in your 11th house of networking and wider communities. So you might want to explore that. And I guess Libras do shine in having a lot of friends and good relationships in that, in a sense. And Leo always puts a spotlight and a shine on whatever house it sits in. Scorpio, Leo will be in your 10th house. So your career, your reputation will be extremely important to you. Now is the time to really work towards your career goals, and you'll be able to do that because you'll be firm enough and tough enough, and it will be the right the appropriate time and place to do it. And if you're thinking of exploring a passion for your career, that would be a good idea as well. Like, let's say if you want to do expressive arts as a career path, then you might want to consider that, because Leo is shining that for you. For Sagittarius, Leo is in your 9th house, which makes a lot of sense because Sagittarius is about traveling. So Leo is shining that for Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings. It's also about your philosophies, learning about different cultures, living abroad for a long period. So yeah, I mean, if all these things are of interest to you as a Sagittarius, then now, you know, with the sun being very at home in Leo, I feel like all the signs are more, not all, how do I put it? Leo is where the sun belongs, right? So now is generally a good time if you look at it that way. Capricorn, Leo will be in your 8th house, I believe. Let me think. 8th. So where you do investments, receiving and giving of money, exchanging energy, even like sex, for example, that is where the spotlight is on now. But 8th house is also like about the difficult emotional stuff we have to go through, as is ruled by Scorpio. So, but then Capricorns may feel like that gives them a lot of energy. So yeah, I mean, I believe Capricorns can handle a lot of things. They're very strong people. For Aquarius, Leo will be in your 7th house. So relationships. I'm an Aquarius, so I don't see myself getting into a relationship anytime soon. So we shall see. But 7th house is about platonic one-on-one relationships. Doesn't have to be romantic. So yeah, it's also a time to reflect on what is lacking in your own identity and how you can balance that out. Like maybe as an Aquarius, you tend to take a step back a lot, but with Leo in the 7th house, you have to realize that there's a part of you that wants to stand out too, although not in the same way necessarily as Leo. You might do it in a more logical way. And for Pisces, Leo will be in your 6th house of routine, ruled by Virgo. So now's a great time for Pisces to organize and get their life in order, because usually Pisces go with the flow. And now with the Leo energy, it's giving you time to, you know, put things in folders in your brain. You know, categorize. Or you may want to have some creativity to do on a daily basis, not complex things, but maybe something very simple like a doodle or journaling that could really help your mental state of mind. Yeah. So that is my video for Leo season. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any comments, you can leave it down below. Thank you. Bye.